Hi, my name is Corey Minter, and I am president of Trinity Employment Specialists. And I want to talk to you today just for a short while about some of the changes that's happening in our industry, especially in the Tulsa and Oklahoma markets. And there's going to be a lot of employees out there. And so this particular message is going to be directed towards an employee or a potential employee trying to find a new position. And this is some of the best talent in our area in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City have just been hit with massive layoffs in the oil and gas industry. And you would almost have to just turn off your TV and never watch TV and never read the news to not know that this is going on in our industry right now. We've just had massive layoffs in our area. And so what that's done is that's put some really top-level talent out into the marketplace. So there are going to be many employers that will really benefit, and they can take advantage of having some of this top talent out in the marketplace. But in doing that, I want to talk to some of those top A-player employees that might be looking for a job in this time period. I know that there's a high likelihood that many of these employees or many of these potential candidates have not been forced or had to look for a position in a very, very long time. In fact, it may have been 15 or 20 years since some of these employees have had to even look for any kind of new opportunities because they were so good at what they did. They were always so highly sought after that they have never really had to be forced to look for a job. And so I have some tips that are very common sense things, but they are some of the things that are sometimes most often forgotten from some of the highest level of potential employees. And so I hope that these 3 or 4 things here can help you in making sure that while you're doing your job search, that you're being the best unemployed person that anyone has ever seen by your documents that you're sending out and the way that you're presenting yourself. So let's take a look at these few things and see if they might be able to help you. Cut. The first thing is to look over your resume. And I know how simple that sounds. But there are some really specific things that might not be on your resume, or some small little technical errors could be on there. But I would recommend that you would have at least 3 or 4 people that you believe is smarter than you to look over your resume. And I would even recommend that you look over it literally every week. So why would I suggest that? It seems pretty pointless to some of you. The reason is because every week you are going to be looking at new job opportunities that are coming out. Some of those that are advertised for. Some of those opportunities are going to come by way of networking and just meeting different people and colleagues in your network circle. But every week you're going to be learning a little bit more about what the current job market offers. And especially those that are in the oil and gas field, it's going to be so crucial that you utilize the ability to transfer your skills into another area. There are some of the employees that I've talked to that are in the oil and gas industry. They are actually thinking about getting out of the oil and gas industry altogether. And I completely understand why, because my family personally was in the oil and gas industry, and I knew what happened. Every 5 years, you had a little bit of a shakeup and there were layoffs happening. But if you're going to change industries, well, you're going to need to pay attention to some of the trends that is happening. And so what better of a way to do that than to just read the job ads, be very introspective about what is happening in other industries at the moment, and cater your resume to some of those things. I would even recommend that you would cater your resume to every position. You don't have to change the whole thing, but change it and tweak it specific to whatever position you're applying for. It can make a world of difference. Remember that whoever is reading your resume, they have already put out on a job description, which you've probably read, what they believe is most important to them in that position. Well, if you have that skill set, why would you not consider going in and putting that skill set at the very top of some of your bullet points, maybe in the heading of the objective, and just letting that recruiter know that I have the skill set that you said that you needed in that job description. But what's really going to happen is, with most candidates, is they're going to create one resume that they think is good. They're probably going to put a good amount of work into it, and they're going to send it out to their friends and have them look over it, make sure it's error-free, but they're just going to stick with that one document. And there's that one document may be an unbelievable document, but it might not be the best document for that specific job that you're looking for. And then all at the same time, you actually have that skill set in your past work history. Well, a lot of people are going to miss out on many opportunities because they didn't take the time to cater their resume to that position. So I know that I went over a long explanation of that, but I wanted to try to explain the whole thought process on why, and try to convince you on why you should consider tweaking your resume weekly for those specific job positions that you might want. And I meet with a lot of candidates that are like this, where they're considering changing industries, but then at the same time, all at the same time, they would still be interested in a position in their past work history. And in this scenario, I'm going to reference the oil and gas field. So we have a lot of oil and gas people looking for jobs, but they're really open to trying to change industries. I would recommend that you have 2 or 3, maybe 3 different kinds of resumes readily available. And of course, each 3 of those you're going to consider tweaking if you need to, just like I talked about. But have a resume ready for that next industry that piques your interest. Have it ready to go in the case that you have a position that opens up and you can quickly send out that resume for that position. You definitely don't want to send the same resume that you've developed for the oil and gas industry for another position in a different industry, because the recruiter is always looking for what's best for our company. And if you are in sales in a marketing department or in a marketing company, well, you're probably not going to be just crazy excited about meeting somebody who has done sales in the oil and gas industry. They're just 2 different industries. However, you can take some of those skill sets and transfer them over. You guys get the picture. But I want you to consider to have 2 or 3 solid resumes for each different industry that you might consider going after, and have them ready to go. Commit to being able to tweak them whenever you need to on a weekly basis. And I really think that that's going to help those who are considering changing industries or career paths. And the third thing that I would recommend that anyone do is to network. And I know that everybody will say this. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. And I remember when someone had told me that a long time ago, before I'd understood the recruiting and hiring process the way that I do now. And they would say, well, you need to get out there and network. And I was like, well, I don't know what that means. Does that mean talk to people in the elevator? Does that mean, talk to my friends? Of course, you can use social media like Facebook and LinkedIn now. Those are unbelievable tools that I didn't have access to. But one of the most important ways that I personally have networked is just joining different groups in the industry that I'm in. And so in Tulsa, for the oil and gas field, we have the petroleum clubs that are around. For the human resources field, we have TARA, Tulsa Area Human Resources Association. There are so many different networking events that are also available through your local chambers. The Tulsa Chamber has unbelievable marketing and networking events that you can go to. And I know that most people listening to this, it just makes their skin crawl thinking about having to go and meet all of these new people. And you're right, it is very intimidating at first. But if you commit to going to some of the most important events in your local chamber, in your specific field, if there are clubs that are available, if you can commit to going to these, I can almost guarantee you that the best jobs are going to come through those avenues and not through some job ad. Because I know the top companies that we work with, the very first thing that they do is they start networking before they post it out. They ask all of the people in their organization, hey, do you know of anyone with this skill set before we post it up? Those are always your best recruits. In our company, we're a staffing company, and when we get a job ad, the very first thing that we ask ourselves, do we know of anyone that might know of someone with that skill set? It's so very important, but yet I will almost guarantee you that most of the people that are listening to this, they're probably not out actively networking, because to a lot of people, it's really intimidating. And to a lot of people, it may not seem like the most efficient way of trying to do your job search, but I can tell you from experience, and please go read Harvard reviews or any of the top reviews about the best ways of finding jobs. It might not seem like the most efficient way, but it is by far the most effective way to go out and find the best jobs that are out there. And so whether you are in the medical field, whether you are in the accounting industry, that's an area that we specialize in Tulsa, or in the banking industry, which is an area that we specialize in Tulsa, I really recommend that you go out and network. It will change your entire job search ballgame. I promise you. I hope this helps you. Thank you.